ganitong recent awards.
Mga higala, kumusta? Welcome to another episode of the Chyrel Macale Cariga Show. And of course, we are live at UHF Digital Terrestrial Television, Channel 51. And of course, we're also live at Parasat at Jade Cable TV, that is Channel 27, 28, and 29. And of course, we are also live at DEARBC Cable, TV Analog Channel 19, Digital Channel 2. And of course, we're also live at our FB page, JAO TV 51_official. And you can also see us live at YouTube channel, JAO TV 51_official. JAO TV is the first digital TV in northern Mindanao. The National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, or NICA, directs, coordinates, and integrates all government activities involving national intelligence. Now today, we will be discussing the accomplishments of this agency and how significant is their role in solving all sorts of crime in the country and its ways forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Regional Director of NICA 10. Let us all welcome Mr. Manuel Orduña. Sir, RD, good morning po sa'yo.
Good morning also, Ma'am Chyrel. And good morning to your thousands of avid followers.
Yes, and televiewers. Sir, we would like to know, because this is the best avenue for you to really discuss that our government is really at work. Now, how is NICA playing the role in the intelligence network?
Actually, as NICA per se, to put it very simply, we are the focal point of coordination of all the intelligence matters of the government. And our role is very broad, actually.
Yes.
We cover almost everything.
Yes.
From political to economic to governance. And even this COVID, we monitor this problem because if it will not be addressed properly, there could be security implications.
Right.
But to put it very simply, all this information that we gather on the ground that affects, impacts, or impedes on national security, we process this into intelligence.
Right,
that is our product on intelligence. And our report reaches up to the Office of the President to assist him or provide inputs for his decision making.
Right.
Yeah. And we also provide inputs to the National Security Council for its advisory functions. But of course, just like all other government agencies and instrumentalities, institutions, our main clients is the Filipino people.
Right. On that sense, sir, it would be very crucial for the President to decide, unless we have come up with our own investigation, then that would be the basihan, or the crucial moment where the President decides how the investigation have come up. So that is very important to the intelligence network, no? And then for the information of everyone, if there is a CIA, our NICA is equivalent to that. So talagang we can go on above and beyond with the investigation to know the truth through our investigation. Now, sir, moving forward with our mandate, what is it, sir, that the President has mandated us since the President Rodrigo Roa Duterte had gotten his position and appointed as President, now that he is leaving by June 30? What was this core all about for NICA and his mandate as the directive of the President?
Actually, as NICA per se, we have core functions or specific roles to play.
Yes, right.
Just like we chair the Regional Intelligence Committee.
Okay.
We chair the Regional Anti-Terrorism Council Convergence Group. We are a member of the Regional Peace and Order Council. We are a member of the Regional Development Council.
Right.
So that is as far as NICA, our core function, is concerned. But with the implementation of Executive Order number 70, we were given additional role. Like we are the lead agency in the situational awareness and knowledge management cluster.
Right.
Yeah, because in this Executive Order number 70, there are 12 lines. We call it 12 lines of efforts.
Okay.
Yeah, 12 lines of efforts to counter the 10-point program, the program for People's Democratic Revolution of the Communist Terrorist Group. So, because a large portion of the work of this commissioners group actually is propaganda,
Right.
which is information. So we have-
Ang dami pang fake news, sir.
Yes, we have to
misinformation.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to combat that too.
And of course, when we talk about propaganda, the bulk of that is lies. Lies. So how do we
Correct it.
confront it?
Yeah.
Of the 12 lines of efforts, 2 lines of efforts are established to counter the propaganda.
Right.
The first one is strategic communication.
Okay.
And the media plays very, very
Right.
important and big role in this. Because the mandate of the strategic communication is to tell the people what are the programs, projects, and activities of the government.
Right.
Because if we will not do that, some may believe the propaganda, the lies of the communist terrorist group that the government is doing nothing but to make the lives of our people
More
harsh,
difficult,
more
yes.
tough. So we have to correct that impression, or by telling the people what are the projects, programs, and activities that the government is implementing to benefit the people.
The LCAC is now present on that EO70 now. We would like to widen that spectrum now, discuss it furthermore, how important this EO70 has to be implemented, because this has become, the main focus on our intelligence now, so that we will be able to reach out to all of those that have been doubting how the government is helping them out, wrong ideologies in place, and that the EO70 has to be planned out very crucially, especially with NICA's leadership, with the PRLEX and all that. There are some, in fact, LCAC and all that, we have been very present in the lives of our rebels that have been in the far-flung areas and reachable to the public. Now, what are we doing about that, sir, in order for us to really accomplish that mandate to implement the EO70?
So on the part of NICA, we are the lead agency of the situational awareness and knowledge management. To put it very simply, our job is, of course, we have a problem to solve. So we should know what is the problem. Why do we have this kind of problem? Why is it that it has been too long and we have not yet solved this problem?
Since time immemorial.
Yeah, more than 50 years.
50 years, yes.
What are the problems?
What is the core of the problem?
Yeah.
Yes.
And who are the problems? And what would be the very appropriate solutions to these problems? That is the role of NICA. That is why we are very much involved in information campaign.
Right.
Information campaign, information and education campaign. By telling what is really the true, accurate, and the situation on the ground. The people must know. Who are these people? What are they doing? What is really their objective? So we have to tell that to the people, so that the people will be will understand the situation.
Yes.
And they could weigh things. So who's telling the truth?
Pero that is actually a collaborative effort with the PNP, of course, with the AFP, and some other agencies that actually has bring all these issues at their table to be discussed and make some solutions out of this problem and insurgencies that have been happening in the region. Like, for example, planning out, what is the plan of action, or even offer livelihoods to this surrenderies for us to extend our hands to them, that they'll be able to go back to the arms of the government.
Yes, that is also one of the things that I would like to emphasize that this executive order, now it is institutionalizing the whole of nation approach. It's a whole of government approach, so that we could attain sustainable and inclusive peace.
Correct.
And in the implementation of this executive order, a task force was created purposely to implement.
Correct.
This, and the direction is to adopt a national peace framework. In this executive order, we do not talk about war or fighting. We more often talking about
Peace
peace and
talks.
order and development, development and peace and order. We talk about convergence of efforts,
Yes.
not only of the government agencies, but we must take on board all stakeholders. That is why it is a whole of nation approach.
Right.
And of course, as per the guidance of the president, we have to pool the efforts and resources of all the stakeholders, and we will prioritize or give priority to the what we call conflict affected,
Yes.
conflict vulnerable, and the geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas.
We have seen this collaborative efforts of the government that have been working hand in hand. I've even seen TESDA, going on to the these remote areas wherein they give livelihoods to all of this, rebels, for them to be able to reach out and give them skills for them to survive as a way of our sustainability, suggestion for them, that they will be able to come out from that kind of living for many, many years, and they have never had experience what true life is all about outside.
Yes,
so they have been influenced since they were kids, and the ideology that had been placed and brainwashed for so long, even kids. There was one time that I went to 88 IEB, and there were a 12-year-old that was captured under the AFP. And it was sad to say by that time there were 13, 12, and 15. There were 3 kids that were actually, arrested. And sad to say, sir, isang biktima pa doon. I'm calling it victims because these are children. They've been influenced and they have been brainwashed by this CPP NPA to actually, go against the government. Marupok ang nila, sir, invitation to them, promising them this and that, and spreading lies to the very small mind of our children. And that's why I was specifically stressing with the DSWD, what are we doing to actually save? Kasi kailangan ng rescue ito, sir. Kasi if you don't rescue, their lives will be at stake for the rest of their lives, and they won't be given a proper education and a better life for them. So it was very alarming that the CPP NPA have been recruiting small kids. In fact, there was somebody that told me, the 88 IB was telling me, Ma'am, 9 years old, nagdadala na ng armas. So that's very alarming, sir, that supposed to be these children should be playing in the grounds, have been, should be in school, but then look at them. Nakakawawa yung mga sitwasyon nila, sir, and we need to correct this, and we have to help the government, especially the AFP, to rescue these kids. Now, I know that specifically, I know that the intelligence plays a very, very important role in this part of our task under the EO70. So, what is NICA doing about that, sir, especially on influencing and going about and giving, I know that NICA is very aggressive now in campaigning for all of these insurgencies to stop.
Actually, there are 3 facts about this problem in our country. The first fact is this problem is not just a military problem.
Correct.
Number 2 fact is there are 2 most vulnerable sectors that are affected by this problem.
Right.
Number 1 are the student youth.
Right.
And number 2 are our IP brothers, indigenous peoples. And number 3 is if we really want to achieve sustainable and inclusive peace, we will be able to benefit from the dividends of peace.
Right.
This is not just a whole of government. It should not only be a whole of government approach. It should be every Filipino must have.
Everybody has to play a role. Yes.
So on that point, one of the most vulnerable sector is the student youth.
Yes.
That is where we are concentrating our information and education campaign, reaching out the student youth to give them the true, the factual information, so that they will have this weapon to resist whatever lies and deceptions that these communist cadres are telling them. So, yeah, we really put premium sa student yun. We go to the before the COVID, we really conduct massive information. We go to schools, we go to student organization, youth organizations. We give them some informational briefings or lectures. But during the COVID, we were handicapped. No, we could not conduct face-to-face. No. But we pursue our mandate by using the new platforms, the teleconferencing. And up to now, that is where we really have to give truthful, factual information to our youth so that they will understand. Unlike those, because most of the propaganda, most of the lies that are events or incidents in the past. They will not be. They could only get those information through. No, they have not experienced it. Actually, they have not experienced it. So, if nobody will refute what the communist cadres are saying, the youth are easily swayed or deceived.
Yes.
So that is why we really put emphasis. We give more premium to our campaign, education and information campaign amongst the student youth.
Right.
And on the part of the IP, we also reach out to the, and
are there a problem, sir, when it comes to the communications? Because I know that the IPs have their own language, and are they being interpreted the way you talk to them? Are there interpreters for them to understand what you guys are trying to explain? Because I know that there are Higaonons and the tribes have different tongue, and that are we able to reach out to them through what, and what are we doing about it? Are we coordinating with the LGUs, and the LGUs would go and give us the avenue for you to speak to these IPs and for them to be able to understand what we're talking, because we cannot speak their tongue. Are there any communication solutions to that for the IPs to understand our language?
Yes, actually, we localize our narratives.
I see. Yeah. Okay,
that's good. That's good. And every time we conduct information drive amongst the IPU, we bring with us former rebels.
I see.
Who speak the language. On our part, more on direction. But as to how we communicate, how we express our, we are doing something.
Sir, may I ask you how long have you been with NICA?
Oh, I've been with NICA almost 6 years, but of that, more than 5 years here in Mindanao, in Region 10.
I see. So where did you, where was the basis of your background, sir, in terms of the intelligence, and how did do you have trainings before? Where did you gone through trainings? Because I understand that we're not only, incorporating this alone in the country, but we're incorporating internationally, like the Interpols and all that, even the CAAs and the FBIs, and we're a part of that system. And how did you come up with that kind of experiences to join NICA?
Actually, I'm a graduate of the Philippine Military Academy.
I see. Yeah. Okay. It has to have a military background.
Military service after serving for more than 35 years.
I see. So no reason pala, sir.
After retirement, I joined NICA.
I see.
Because I like the
concept.
Every individual has some idols.
Oh yeah.
We look up to some people.
Yes.
I believe in the principles, in the way that our president is.
But do you also agree, sir, that we have to amend the constitutions at times, because some of the laws that we have under the constitution is not applicable in the present times?
Yes, there are actually lots of efforts in the past administration.
It has to be amended.
Correct or improve some of our laws, because most of our laws are Jurassic. We have to
And it's already a long gap because, you know, the era of this time is digitalized, or the digital approaches. Some of those laws that have been imprinted in the Constitution is not applicable at the present time. So I know that there should be some amendments so that we'll be able to, you know, free from those laws that are not able to be expressed in this present times. Now, sir, moving forward, I know that we have a lot of plans of the ways forward. We have a new administration coming up. The new president will be sitting down after June 30. So we expect a lot of changes, and there would be a lot of expectations. For you, sir, what do you expect in this new administration? And that I know that there were a lot of issues that placed in your table that has to be solved, that have not been solved at this time. If you were given the chance to sit down with the president when he sits down and asks for your opinion, what would you suggest to them that we should correct under our justice system?
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Chyrel. But before, I would just like to go back to your previous question. I've been with the military for more than 30 years, and most of that I spent in the intelligence.
I see. Okay.
Particularly with the intelligence service of the armed forces. I also served as Defense and Armed Forces Attaché in Vietnam and Cambodia for 3 years.
Talagang that's why you are placed there, kasi you have the good background for that, sir.
Then they sent me here because of the Marawi siege.
Yes. We were there.
Yes. The Marawi siege. Because before I retired, I was assigned here in Mindanao, about 3 years before I retired.
I see.
And,
but you're not originally from here, sir?
No, I'm from Luzon.
I see, okay.
So I spent about 2 years before my retirement here in Mindanao. Particularly there in Marawi, because at that time, the brigade commander is General Macale. He was my classmate.
Let us not forget to actually congratulate, of course, our regional director of NICA to be awarded twice under the presidential awardee for the Marawi siege. And you've been there, you know, coping up with all those problems that you've encountered in the Marawi siege. So congratulations to that, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Two awards in a row. Congratulations to that.
Thank you. But as to your question about, actually, I've been observing, monitoring the events during the campaign period.
Yes.
And I actually expressed this to my, my public servants in my office, that if the next administration will be kowtowing again or making peace again with this, I think I have to bow out of the, But I noticed that the unit team, has made a statement that they will be, continuing this executive order implementation. Of this.
So we're very hopeful to that, sir.
So we are very hopeful.
That's right.
Particularly what we are doing about this information campaign. I've been in the service for too long.
You've seen it all. You've seen it all na, sir, yung mga issues.
Actually,
mga issues na yan.
I graduated in 1984, and the president then is President Ferdinand Marcos.
Yes. So, I remember in the 80s, yeah.
Yes. During the time of President Marcos, this problem is already at the brink of collapse. Actually.
Wow.
Most of the leaders, top leaders, are in jail or surrendered or returned back.
Was this a time that they were trying to revolt to the government?
Yes.
Was this the
during
time?
The time of President
there was a coup d'etat that was attempted.
Of course, there was no coup d'etat attempt during the time of President Marcos, except the EDSA
revolution. Yeah.
So after the EDSA revolution, when President Cory Aquino took office, of course we could understand she is a woman. She wants peace. She has a very soft heart. Perhaps she thought that by releasing all these CTG leaders in jail, they will cooperate with her to attain that peace. See, that's what happened. She
You
released
mean
them.
she
released-
actually free?
Yeah, she
You
freed all
actually,
this,
wow,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
hoping
So,
that they will cooperate with her.
and then what happened, sir?
To, what happened is that
Kumalas din.
yeah, instead of attaining peace, ayan, they were able to regroup, rebuild their forces.
So recruit naman.
They were not just released in bail, from jail, huh?
So
They
were
allowed
they?
to go
So
abroad.
they were given a presidential pardon. Is that what you're
Yes,
trying
and
to
they were
say?
allowed to go abroad.
Wow.
So-
so the amnesty was wrong.
If you notice,
Giving to these people.
all the top
Yes.
leaders of these, we call it Madugo at Maras na
Yes.
are not here in the Philippines. They are there abroad, enjoying
Wow.
their lives. If this
Very bad.
if this movement will win, they will return back to the Philippines and enjoy again being there at the top of the. So these are the things that we would like our people to understand.
Yes.
They are just being used actually for the personal ambitions of certain people, of
Yes.
certain party or group. So that is always our call, for those still in the fields bearing arms and creating some trouble. So just go back to the folds of mainstream society. You fix yourselves, you fix your family, and if they really actually want to contribute something to society, there are lots of ways,
Yes.
and not bearing arms and killing
Yes.
fellow Filipino. That is our call, and that is the call of this actually this executive order.
And that we will be able to let them also understand that the government is not, the enemy here. We should let them understand that we are here to actually help them and protect them, and then to be able to give them a future wherein everybody is actually allowed to be free and to actually, express their opinions, that they will be able to have some decent livelihood. And that is what we're trying to convince them to actually go back to the arms of the government. Now, so far, sir, in our assessment for the last few years, you as the regional director, what are so far your accomplishment in the last 5 years?
Actually, I could not say it in terms of numbers, but what I could say is we could deduce this from tangible, what we call evidence on the ground. For the past few years, there are no more student youth rallying in Divisoria. Now, there are lots of people going back to mainstream society, going back to the folds of the law. In fact, many of them are now soldiers enlisted in the police. And business is actually, we have gone through difficult times during COVID.
Yes.
And
were we able to have a COVID response to that? Because I know that Nico was part of the AITF
Yes,
team,
yes.
and we were able to come up with some solutions. And the NEDA director, which is a good friend of mine, Milo Faye Canino, was actually a regular guest here in our studio, and has been expressing that in spite of the challenges we have for COVID, the region was actually very resilient still on standing up, and still the economy is still running in spite of these challenges. Although there were a lot of establishments that had been closed, and the SMEs had been very challenged in terms of their revenues, but the AITF team was actually able to come up with some solutions for them to give a leeway a little bit, to have some solutions for a lot of problems that came up with the crisis.
so, yeah, I could not say, I could not actually express accomplishment in terms of NICA alone.
Yes.
No.
It is
always a convergence of efforts.
Yes.
And we recognize the efforts of the NEDA,
Yes.
leading us actually, our leader in
Yes,
among the government agencies.
And the
Very-
only commendation that I have with Arde Carino is that she knows what she's doing.
Yes,
And
we are
she
very
knows, like,
lucky
yes,
to
very,
have
very
her.
lucky that she has this mind to actually lead, no? And that the economy, parang relentless talaga the campaign to let the economy stand on its own. And in fact, to have still, ongoing robust economy in spite of these challenges, and very resilient naman tayo with Region 10.
Yes.
There were no shortage of the rice, supply, and especially yung mga gulay still there in Bukidnon.
Here.
Yes,
Even
and
this African swine flu problem.
and we've solved that.
Yeah.
Oh.
We supply pork to the National Capital Region.
That's right. And even the gulay, we actually gave them some supply because we were abundant here. So that just speaks for itself, how Region 10 have been very resilient to all of these challenges. Now, there's no wonder that there would be some other crisis or pandemic that would come our way. We are very ready because we have learned our lessons from that. And that it became a platform that we will be able to understand, what should be done and what should we need to do, in order for us to surpass and not only survive, but also to thrive in the time of challenges. So, sir, in your account, I know that there would be a lot of changes will be made, but hopefully things will actually be in our favor, especially in the intelligence side. Because you know what you're doing, sir. You've been there for so many years in the intelligence, and that I know that your leadership has come up with a lot of ideas for us to actually penetrate in this kind of insurgency that we're experiencing right now. Now, on the networks of politics, because I know that's also your area of your jurisdiction, sir. What have we come up so far? I know that you're not able to reveal all of this, but have we come up and have we investigated some problems that we have encountered under, some political people right now that have done something that I think it's able to destroy, the image of the government? Yeah,
actually, we are very, very lucky to have a president like President Duterte.
Yes.
He has the political will to.
Because they say, sir, if not with the political will, our justice system or our government will never change.
Yeah. So, for me, personally, I do not see any major or massive changes in terms of policies or the direction on how the government will go in the next 6 years. Although, of course, there will be new government. What would most probably change are people. People. But in terms of policies, I do not see any major policy change. And we saw that during the campaign about the pronouncement of the incoming president.
Yes.
And fortunately also for us, the president is an ally of the vice president is an ally of the president, incoming president. So I think there will be,
I think this is the very first time that I think in the history
there
that
will be
a president and the president and the vice president are in unity in terms of their decision making, and that there is no difficulty in implementing programs because wala na kung sa Bisaya pa sir wala ni musungag. So that's a very vital instances wherein we are very grateful for that. We'll be able to give them a chance also to work together in order for us to have a government wherein all of us are working together. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be pausing for a quick break. Stay close. We'll be coming right back.
Hello mga kadyaw! Ni ay mga simple nga mga pamaagi aron makalikay kita sa COVID-19. Manghugas kanunay sa kamot gamit ang sabon ug tubig. Kung walay tubig ug sabon, mag-alkohol. Magsuot kita pirmi og face mask ug face shield kung mugawas sa balay. Ilabi na kung anaa kita sa mga pampubliko nga lugar. Kung walay importante nga tuyo, magpuyo lang usa kita sa balay. Kung mahimo, wala usay pasudlon nga mga bisita. Kanunay mag-obserba og social distancing. Wala usay maglamanuhay og beso-beso kung makita nimo ang imong suod nga higala. Kini nga mga pahimangno hatod kaninyo sa Jao TV. Amping mga kajaw! Hello mga kadyaw! Ni ay mga simple nga mga pamaagi aron makalikay kita sa COVID-19. Manghugas kanunay sa kamot gamit ang sabon ug tubig. Kung walay tubig ug sabon, mag-alkohol. Magsuot kita pirmi og face mask ug face shield kung mugawas sa balay. Ilabi na kung anaa kita sa mga pampubliko nga lugar. Kung walay importante nga tuyo, magpuyo lang usa kita sa balay. Kung mahimo, wala usay pasudlon nga mga bisita. Kanunay mag-obserba og social distancing. Wala usay maglamanuhay og beso-beso kung makita nimo ang imong suod nga higala. Kini nga mga pahimangno hatod kaninyo sa Jao TV. Amping mga kajaw!
And we are back for another episode of the Macale, Cariga show. And of course, we are very, very proud that our awardee of, the president, because of the Marawi siege, is here with us. Of course, the regional director of NICA 10, Mr. Manuel M. Ordoña, is here with us discussing matters at hand with EO70. And we're very pleased that we know that there are a lot of accomplishments done under your leadership, sir. And ways forward, sir, what are we going to do? Are we going to carry off all of the programs that we have now that we're still implementing, and how are we going to do it, and how are we going to be implemented? If there are new updates or new mandates from the president, are we very ready to implement it, whatever his directives is?
Yes, Ma'am Jade. We actually, when we talk about accomplishments, we cannot talk of
alone
accomplishment alone, because we are just part of the bigger convergence effort of all stakeholders. So, as to but what I can say is that you could deduce what our accomplishments are in terms of the indicators on the ground. We call it indicators. What is despite there's a COVID problem. We survived. We just not only survived, no, we overcame this.
Yes. That's right.
We are actually on the road to recovery. And as to the ways forward, as I said before, we are very hopeful in this new administration, because it is a unity team.
Yes, that's right. And that we are also expecting that there are a lot of big changes made, because so far this is the very first time in the history of our country that the president and the vice president is going to work together hand in hand.
Yes, yes. And no less than the incoming vice president has expressed na, I will be a loyal vice president, as you said. So we are very hopeful, that good things are ahead
About to
for the
happen.
Filipino people. And that is our call, let's give this new administration a chance.
Yes.
Let's give them a chance. Because they ran for these positions not only for their personal ambitions,
for the
because
people.
they want to serve
To the people.
the people.
And number one aim, and the people are also clamoring for, is that there will be changes in terms of our the world market itself has been killing the economy now in terms of our oil price hike, and that has been a very big problem that the country has been encountering, because every week there are increases in terms of our oil price, and it's killing the economy because, first of all, the commodities will also rise, and the people are getting harder and harder, and they're getting to this point where enough is enough. There should be a solution to this in terms of our economy and our prices control, because what are the solutions to be made in order for us to have a subsidy when it comes to the oil price, because we are very dependent on the world market, and that the dollar, the peso is being defeated by the dollar now. For example, just yesterday it is the dollar to a peso is 53 pesos per dollar. So this would mean that there is another increase of the oil price hike, because we actually buy the oil price at a dollar rate. So especially the commodities. I was shocked when I went to the supermarket just not long ago, and then the prices of the sugar was actually just 56 not too long ago. Now it is 81 pesos per kilo. So this has been a relentless increase, and people are getting frustrated about this point, and everybody's so anxious that the new government will sit down and then make some new solutions, because the term of the president cannot changes in the span of 3 weeks. And then I know that the president is actually trying its best to actually have this control, but it's beyond his control now. So I hope that the new president will come up with this economic team to give us some solutions to this, because it's hurting the economy and it's hurting the people itself.
Yeah, that is why we have to heed the call of the incoming president, because we are still facing tough. We are still facing very tough issues and concerns.
Yes.
Not only affected by the local, but
Yes.
affected by the
May pangako pa si Presidente na
international.
maging 20 pesos na ang per kilo ng rice natin. So let's give him a chance for him to able to do that, because there are a lot of promises that are made to be broken, but let's be hopeful to that maybe the President can come up with some solutions. We don't know. We don't know if how we come up with that kind of solution, but there should be means and ways for him to do that.
Yes, that is why we have to heed the call of the president for cooperation and unity, so that we could surmount.
And the people should cooperate also at the same time.
Yes. All of us, that is the call of the incoming president. But
Right.
as to that, I think at this very early stage, we should clarify that the president, the incoming president, did not actually promise that the rice will be. What I understand is, he said that it could be.
It could be possible. Oh.
Yeah. But I also believe that could be possible if we, if we support his programs, or if we cooperate.
And
So-
we'll be able to come up with that if in case there is ways and means wherein they could really do that, then let's be hopeful to that. And the Filipino people, they always hold on to whatever you say to them. So they're very hopeful that when you promise, in fact, if you hold on or express something that there is a possibility that it could happen in the Philippines, just like what happened with the late President Ferdinand Marcos was able to control the economy itself. Even the prices of the rice was actually controlled by him, and even the commodities at the same time. So hopefully those strategies will be implemented at this time, and there would be no more skyrocketing prices that will affect the economy as well.
Yes, but we should also understand that there are factors affecting local situation. That we have, it is beyond our control, no? Like this situation in Ukraine.
Yes.
That causes the rise in fuel prices. Of course, increase in oil price affects almost all other.
Yes.
So these are factors actually beyond our control that may have impact on the good intentions of the incoming administration.
Well, to be honest with you, sir, I've actually discussed this. There were some presidentiables. One was, former Secretary of the Department of Agrarian Reform, which is John Castriciones, was here actually, and Samira Gutok was also here during their campaign, and I was suggesting to them, why did even the council in the Philippines or the City League of City Council of the Philippines did not agree that at the time when there were a lot of problems in the increase of oil price hike, excise tax, which should have been frozen for this period of time, and that the subsidy should come up, and there should have been some oil banks in every region. Because, I've told Sir John that why didn't we come up to have a negotiation with an agreement with the Malaysian government? The Petronas gas is just right there at the corner. And then if we were able to have an agreement with them that we will subsidize, an agreement for them to actually provide us with the oil and the petroleum that we needed in the country, there should have been an oil bank in every region, and that in every region should have supplied for the whole country itself. But Sir John didn't make it to the Senate, but he told me that it was a very good suggestion, and that if he will sit as senator, he will suggest that. But unfortunately, I know my suggestion would not happen. But hopefully, when you have a time to discuss with the AITF, there should be a common ground of decision for you to endorse this suggestion coming from me, that there should be a part of the government to have a discussion or an agreement with the Malaysian government for us to be subsidized by this oil, so that we will not be dependent with the world market. And that is just me as an observation as a journalist myself, and how the economy should have been given the justice for us to be able to get a fair price of all the commodities now, because I know that it's been affecting so many people in our country now.
Yes, Mr. Jan is my classmate at PMA.
Oh, he's a good friend of mine, sir. He's a good friend of mine.
Yes, so every time he comes here in the CDO, I always try to meet him.
Yes.
But as to what you are saying about this, our economy, your suggestions, if you will notice, the very first thing that the incoming president did was to create his economic team.
Yes.
And I am very, personally, I'm very
hopeful for that.
Hopeful for it, because all those personalities he put in his, he will be putting in his economic team are very, very brilliant people. And I think.
And then there was also one of the things that I was also thinking in mind, that there are so many scholars and intelligent people that actually are geniuses, cum laudes and all that are all abroad, because they have a better future there. And this should be, or them be invited to go back in our country, to help us out with the economy, given that they will be given also a fair chance to have a good livelihood as well. So I think that is not a bad suggestion for us to invite all of our scientists or chemists that are in other countries, being used by other countries and not being used by our own countrymen. So It was good that I was very hopeful also when the president said that there will be some exchange students that will be, they will be sending our fellow men to other countries to explore and be a scholar, and that all those scholars will be given a chance to actually help the country. So I'm very hopeful to that, because we need some brilliant minds.
Yes.
We need some brilliant minds to actually run the economy right now. It's very hard for us, the just ordinary people, think and come up with some solutions in order for us to save the Filipino itself.
Yes, and knowing the psyche of Marcos administration, even the father, his cabinet members there are some of
they
the
were
most
brilliant.
brilliant
They were
people.
very brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I
yes.
think the incoming president has grown up in Malacanang. He has, I think, overheard what his father and his cabinet are talking about, and I
Right.
think he will follow those. He will be choosing brilliant people.
Yes, yes, sir. So hopefully, I know that I was very pleased at that time when Nika was able to had an interest with me, recruiting me for that purpose. But for me, it is Nika is such a very big and a very respected institution where you really have done something for the country, and I know that you're doing your best as well, because you've been planted here for almost 5 years and there are no changes. So I think the president has been, and you were awarded. So I think the president itself had given you his full confidence to run the region itself, sir. So congratulations to that.
Thank you very
Hopefully
much.
you will not be able to be, asked to leave the region, and that you'll be able to be with us for the longest time.
Actually, I was just very lucky because I have very hardworking people, like here, Mr. Mon, very dedicated. So I'm just, it just so happened that I was the one designated as RD. But the truth is, all these works are the works of my staff.
Yes, collaborative effort.
Yes.
So, sir, any last words for you before we end this show?
Of course, I would like to thank you, Ma'am Chyrel, and of course,
Anytime.
Mr. Jao Gumapak,
Yes,
the
sir.
chief executive of this TV outfit, Jao TV. Thank you very much for this. Actually, this is not just an opportunity, but a privilege, actually, and an
Yes,
honor.
sir. And
on
you're
your part.
always welcome. Nika's always
Thank you,
welcome
thank you.
to come here anytime if you have
And,
some announcements or anything, information, or any discussions that you wanted to discuss with us. We're always open for you. Just
And-
give us a call. I'm a phone call away. ARD knows my number, so he can actually just call me anytime. So that's it, sir.
And I would like to assure you that we consider you as a very, very important partner
Thank you,
in
sir.
our quest to
Such an honor.
Yeah. To
And I will be
peace
honored to
and,
be of service to the country, for God and country alone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
All
ma'am.
right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to all of our televiewers. There are 80 barangays of Cagayan de Oro City, and of course, for the 24 municipalities of Misamis Oriental, and of course, 2 component cities, and of course, all of our friends over 4 provinces in the region, of course. We have Camiguin, we have Bukidnon, and we also have Misamis Occidental and Lanao. And we're very pleased to all of you for giving us this chance, to give us the chance to explore and give you all the information needed for you to understand what the government does for the people itself. So we're very hopeful in the next few months or the next few years and the next 6 years, and we're very hopeful that a new president will be in place and will give us a new hope where people are really asking for this, and that there will be a lot of abrupt changes given that the economy is falling and people are really suffering for this. And always remember this, that we are your allies and the government is never your enemy. So never ask what the government can do for you, but always ask what you can do for the government. Let's fight to fight graft and corruption. This has been your host, Chyrel Macale Cariga, and for the Chyrel Macale Cariga Show, until next time, between 9 to 10 in the morning, every Saturday, right here on Jao TV. And not to forget, we will be launching our FM soon. So maging teleradyo na tayo. So can you imagine that we will be teleradyo very soon, because we will have our own frequency in the FM station. So we will have our radio, and we will have our TV all at the same time, the only first in northern Mindanao. So have a pleasant day to all of you, and thank you for watching.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.